Good, good afternoon. I'm calling this meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, December 12th, 2023. Could we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Present.
Present.
Cristina Clark, member.
Present.
Luis Arreola, member. And Laura Torres, member. Present. We have one.
Thank you. I just want to give special thanks for our board president from Gadsden Elementary School District being here, honoring us here with his presence. Also, Superintendent Elisette Esparza and Assistant Superintendent Omar Duron. Welcome, guys. Do we have any comments from the audience? We do? Oh, a couple. Okay, we're gonna start with Mark Concha. And before we begin, if you want to just give me 1 second so that I can read this. Under comments from the audience, the public may address the board on any subject not listed on the agenda. An individual may only address the board once under this item. 5 minutes may be allotted to each speaker, but can be extended by a board member, if so desired. The board cannot act on a non-agenda item and cannot respond to issues other than to provide general information or giving direction to the superintendent to add to a future agenda or for the superintendent to follow up with speaker. The individual shall state his or her name and address before addressing the board.
Could you say that last part, sir?
The individual shall state his or her name and your address before addressing the board.
Physical or mailing, sir?
Physical.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mark Concha. My address is 4816 East San Pedro Street in San Luis, Arizona. And we are part of the school district for Somerton.
Okay.
Now, the issue that I am bringing before you guys is this. It's twofold. One, I would like to see if I could get a breakdown line by line of the budget for extracurricular activities for all sports, not just for one, for all sports for SMS, because my daughter is part of the SMS cheer. I am the president of the Booster Club. And I'm coming to you guys to ask for some assistance because I noticed that the wrestling team gets the bus and other sports get buses, but they will not provide any transportation for when the cheer team needs to go and represent the school in Phoenix. We have a competition coming up February 23rd. We also have one in January 6th. And if we are blessed enough, we will have another one where we go to nationals in California. And we're asking for some assistance to be able to compensate, the parents, because we're the ones that are having to fundraise for this, and also come out of our pockets, because we have come out of our pockets for uniforms that the school benefits from, because our cheerleaders are dressed in the school colors with the school name mascot on there. And we feel that we need a little more assistance in that area as far as financially to be able to encourage more young women to join these activities because it is expensive. And a lot of them are discouraged due to the financial situation and us living in a low income area here. It's not, I would say, feasible for somebody to come up with a couple of $1,000 every time their daughter or their son wants to do an activity. And that's kind of disheartening because I remember when I was going to school many moons ago, back in the 80s and 70s, a lot of those items were, furnished by the school, and now they're not. And I would think that transportation to these competitions, the state competition particularly, would be something that the school district would want them to go and represent our town, our school district up there, because all our banners say Somerton Middle School. That's why we were asking for some compensation, if possible, please, funds, so that we could pay for transportation. If you guys can find it in your hearts to be able to squeeze something out of your budget, to be able to give us something, whether it's paying for one round of transportation or something. I know that it is costly. I do believe it's at $2,100. We've already spent, just so you know, we've already spent over, I do believe we're at $14,000 that we've already spent on uniforms, pom-poms, different signages, and we're still not done yet. And that was all out of pocket or fundraised. That's quite a bit of money for 21 girls to raise. And I believe that we should get, the backing from our school district for this, so that we can show them that we're behind them and that we want them to keep going forward in these extracurricular activities, so that they can grow to be better people, more responsible, and show others that, yes, it is, something that you need to do, so that you can have that school spirit also, and motivate other students to do, better for themselves by participating and reaching out to other different, whether it's wrestling, basketball, cheerleading, it doesn't matter, but do something extra, not just go and play behind a Xbox or their phone all day long. And I think this is a productive activity that needs to be rewarded with some funds, so that they can be able to go up there. And that was all that I needed to say.
Thank you. And we appreciate your feedback. Dr. Knoll, our superintendent, will follow up with you. Okay?
Thank you.
Next, I have Olga Santos.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Olga Santos, and my address, I think that's what you guys asked for, 2215 West County 18th Street, Somerton, Arizona. I'm also a parent with Somerton Middle School. Just, I think the president kind of wrapped everything up, said it well. We're just asking for support. We need a little bit of support from you guys, whatever you guys can help us with. Like he said, we're representing the town. We're putting the town's name out there in state competition. These girls really want to do this, and we want to do it, but we don't have enough funding. So if we can get some type of help from you guys, that'd be great. That's really all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. And our superintendent will also follow up with you.
Thank you.
And I have Samantha Santos. Dr. Knoll.
Good evening, everyone. Samantha Santos, address 2215 West County 18th Street, Somerton, Arizona. I'm here as well. I am the sponsor / coach of Somerton Middle School cheer program. This year, we want to go to these competitions. Like I said, we represent the city. We were the only city at the Yuma County Light Parade. We were the only people supporting you guys. So it's very important for you guys to show us support back. These girls need it. They need to discover something else rather than just being here in town. They need to go to Phoenix. I want to take them to nationals. I can't make that happen if there's no support from you guys. I came to last meeting hoping that you guys would put me in the agenda. Am I in the agenda? No. I went to one city hall meeting. They put me in the agenda. They're giving us a donation. So I really expect more, and I want more from our district. These girls have the best grades at Somerton Middle School. Most of them are reading 10th grade level as a 7th grader. They have like 9 girls out of 21 with straight A's. They do extracurricular activities. They are at practice till 5:45. They need your guys' support. They do. And I hope you guys give them support. And it breaks my heart that you guys are making me come and say this again when I already came. They need support. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Santos, and we appreciate your feedback, and Dr. Knoll will follow up with you. Moving on to 3.1, report from Dr. Knoll.
So, I don't have very much, because we've been, working on, a lot of different projects that are around the school district, and we're coming up to the holidays, so we're winding things up. We have done a lot of work on cheer. I'm sorry that, Ms. Santos had wanted to be on the agenda at the meeting. I didn't hear you request that at the last meeting, that you wanted to be on the agenda.
I didn't know I had requested.
Yeah, so we did, just so you know, we're not trying to disrespect you. I just also wanted to say that we did look into the transportation costs. And one of the things that we've done as a district is we've decided which sports are our school sports, our district sports. So there's a chess club, there's other clubs that happen on the SMS campus that are likened to cheer, that are not supported to quite the same extent as other clubs. One of the things we do though is, even if it is baseball or soccer or a sport like that, we still require the out-of-town transportation be provided by the booster club or the parents of that group. It's not provided by the school. What we do provide as a school is transportation within the area to compete locally. And so anything that's outside of town or elsewhere is something that ends up having the cost for the transportation specifically. And we only charge for the actual cost of providing the transportation. But so that's where we are now. So if we want to change what sports, how we support sports, what we have to identify is how we're going to be able to afford that. And then what are the limitations? Because as you know, we create the budget at the beginning of the year. We know how much money we're getting per pupil. We estimate the number of students we expect to have, and then we base the budget on expenditures for that. So if we're going to increase expenditures for student activities, which we can do, but that has to come from somewhere. It's not, there's no money generated for that. So it would have to be, a budget type item that we would have to consider. And I would say also that we would have to equally support sports. So if we're going to support cheer to go to a competition in Phoenix, then we should also support any of the other clubs that want to do that kind of competition, like chess or whatever. So we would need to budget broadly, not just for cheer. And so anyway, if the board would like that to be on an agenda item, we can take a look at it. But it really is a budget issue. Deciding how much that will cost and what we want to do with it. So I don't have a lot to say. Ms. Say has some more reports on district-wide things, if you'd like to go on to Ms. Say's report.
Well, before we move on, are there any questions or comments?
So I know that the students have the state competition for, was it robotics? Who paid for that to go to the state competition?
The fundraising is by the group, the parent group, and we don't pay for it out of our district.
So our buses did not take those students?
Well, they decide how they're going to go. Maria, do you know what buses they used?
No. Because we don't provide.
Can you come to the front, please?
We just provide transportation for locally, or we do not provide transportation for out of town. Because we are short staff and we don't have the equipment and the drivers to do it.
So a lot of times the cheapest way is to rent a van or to rent, that's usually the least expensive way to do it. And I sent to you the numbers on the per mile that we charge, and it's at cost. We're charging at cost. And we're not charging in excess of what other districts are doing. In fact, we're on the low side. We're just charging for the cost, the actual cost of the hourly wage of the driver or drivers if there need to be two, and the actual cost of the mileage, to and from. So, but many times the groups will choose to take a charter because it's more comfortable and they can sometimes get a little bit less. The total cost can sometimes be less than what we charge. So, but it all comes from fundraising, from donations, from
Tax credit.
other spots.
Thank you, thank you.
And Dr. Noel, my comment was just gonna be, I know we're in December already. So I mean, I know those conversations for this upcoming school year are starting to take place. So I think this is a perfect time to maybe revisit those and like you mentioned, see if that, I wish we had those unlimited funds to, you know, to provide it for all activities. But I think that's when it's important for administration, and everyone involved to, decide, you know, do we increase teachers' pay? Do we supplies? Where does it all go? You know, because I think all those things need to be factored in. And, you know, we trust in the ability of our staff. So maybe that's something when you're in those meetings, you know, just kind of discuss it
Now, the trick it would be to be the same for the different groups, you know, to support them
Right.
equally and
course.
not make one group more or less. So for
course.
competitions that are local, we've always provided the transportation to local competitions.
Mm-hmm.
But for all of the ones that are out of town or any distance, those are the ones that we have charged for. But yes, we can certainly review that when we do the budget for, I don't know how you do it except a fundraise.
Right. Yeah. And
My only concern is what the gentleman mentioned, that they paid already $14,000 in uniforms. That's very concerning.
It wasn't only uniforms.
It was 7,000 in uniforms.
well,
Then it was, other items, the boards that they're gonna use for the competition, that actually also use them while they're doing assemblies. All these items that the school didn't provide, that are being used at assemblies and things like that, that I feel maybe the school should have provided since it is being done in school.
Okay, I was just concerned that you mentioned that they spent $14,000 in uniforms.
Well, uniforms and other items, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry if I misspoke.
That's good, thank you.
Yeah, so then that then, you know, that then leads to the other thing. There's a lot of cost associated with the different sports and activities. And so where's the line? What do we provide and what do we not?
Thank you.
thank you, Dr. Null. Any other questions or comments? Go ahead. Moving on to 3.2, Ms. A.
All right, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I just had a couple of things to share. We have, I know that there was a comment about 21st Century Grant before. And so be glad to know that the new grant cycle is coming up in January. And so I'm working with Eliana Osborne, our new ADE services grant writer, basically of the county superintendent's office, that's going to be supporting us with that. And she said she could really help us out. And so with some other grants as well, we met and looked at the needs of our district and some of the things that we would like to put in place. So I just wanted to let you know we're going to be pursuing that. And a few of our schools have shown interest to do that. So we're going to start working on that process. And then I wanted to also let you know Teacher of the Year process has begun. All of that has been sent out. And so we have a little process set in place, and nominations are due by January 22nd this year. And then we'll make sure that we bring those names also to the board later on. So that'll be taking place. We also had another little concern that had come up about one of our dances that we had at the middle school and some complaints that went out on social media. However, the event was well staffed. The students, in fact, all the administration and teachers were very happy afterwards. They had changed the time, the location. They made sure everything was safe, and all of the different issues they're dealing with, they guarded for that and like celebrated after. Like, we had a really good, turnout and everyone had fun, and it was no incident celebration. And so I just wanted to let the board know and publicly state, as we investigated further, everything was in order. There were no complaints of any, and as of right now, there were no complaints made directly to the school as well. So everything was taken care of. And that's all I have. Are there any questions?
questions or comments? Thank you, Ms. A. So moving on to our board members' report. I'm going to start with Ms. Torres.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. No report.
Thank you, Ms. Clark.
Just want to acknowledge that we all know this is the last week before break, and I'm sure everyone at all the sites countywide are probably just waiting for, Friday. But I want you to know that we support you completely. We wish you happy holidays and a restful break ahead. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you in January.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. Ms. Delgadillo.
I too want to wish everyone happy holidays. Those schools that are participating in the light parade, thank you very much. I do have a little concern that I will just him and Dr. Knoll was approached by a couple of staff teachers indicating that I guess I'm not sure if their 301 or their eval was going to get affected if they don't participate in the light parade. So I want to address that with you.
Oh, okay.
So I'll email you both on that. I want to thank those schools that will be participating in the parade. I know we'll be in the parade, so hopefully we'll see everyone there. And thank you for your support in our community. I wish you a restful 3 weeks. And yes, I'm a hater. I gave up those weeks 6 years ago, but I wish you a lot of happiness with your families, and please be safe.
Thank you, Ms. Delgadillo. And for me, well, happy holidays to all. I apologize. I did miss that the celebrating the A for Desert Sonora. I missed the carne asada and the cake presentation. So congratulations. I'm hoping to be there tomorrow for Orange Grove. And I also I attended the ASBA annual conference last week. The theme around the sessions were focused on emotional intelligence and mental health. That's still, it's that self-care is at the forefront. Some powerful quotes that really stood out to me throughout the conference was, when we're with our students, some of our students are in survival mode. And I think it's important for us as educators to understand that if they're in survival mode, they're not going to be in learning mode. So sometimes we need to kind of take a step back and really, be empathetic towards, they might, who knows what's going on at home. So it was a nice refresher to kind of see that. Something else, 2 years ago, the guest speaker there, he kind of said this quote, management is doing things right, but leadership is doing the right thing. So those two things, I always enjoy going to the conferences, and because I come back and I have a refresher. It kind of refreshes and inspires me to keep doing what I'm doing, and and it assures that we're doing the right thing. So I want to thank that for having that opportunity. And everyone have a safe winter break. We're all looking for that Friday, right? So, well, most of us are. So with that, with that, I'm going to move on to 5.1. Martin Velasco, Director of Maintenance and Grounds.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, Board President, Board members, Dr. Knoll, Ms. A, and audience. It'll be brief. My presentation today is in reference to the Brevity Soto Elementary completed landscape project. This project was a collective effort between the Facilities Maintenance Department as well as the district groundskeeping crew, with the district groundskeeping crew taking the lead and doing the heavy lifting on this. They did an awesome job. I really want to, recognize these individuals for the hard work that they performed. They were able to uh, go around the district, perform the duties and responsibilities throughout the multiple sites, and alternate back and forth to Brevity Soto until completion of the project. It was roughly from February of 2023 to May of 2023, around 3 months. And again, I'm very happy to report they were eager and ready to start the project, and they rose to the occasion. You know, they just performed an awesome job. I'm really proud of them and the work that they did on behalf of the district. Any questions?
Questions or comments?
I just had a comment, but regarding the color of the building at SMS, the dog, but let's say, and you already responded to my concern.
Okay, that's those two buildings out back just west of the campus. Those are metal modular buildings. They've been in place for several years now. They were in dire need of a good paint job. What you see now, it's basically the base, the primer base. We're gonna come back and we're not done yet. That was just the first portion of the project.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Martin.
Thank you.
Oh, Martine, you're setting the gauntlet, 2 minutes.
Moving on to 5.2, Maria Villarreal, Director of Transportation.
Good evening, board members and president. Well, my report, you have my report, and I just want to add that transportation, bus drivers, we do our best to provide transportation safely to and from schools. We started the school year, it is in December, but you know, we didn't have a chance to do a report at the beginning of the school year, but it was smooth. We didn't have no missed students. They were all where they're supposed to be. Right now, we're transporting 960 students and 8 McKinney Venture students, which is a little, you know, what we were expecting this year. We have 66 routes. We've been driving 1,140 miles daily. As of today, we've been driving 85,760 miles up. As of today, right now. Like I say, you know, we're providing transportation, a safe transportation to and from school. All drivers are working hard, and we have 22 staff total, including crossing guards. We have 10 bus drivers, 7 crossing guards, and 1 mechanic, 1 assistant mechanic, 1 routing specialist, and 1 secretary. We're really happy because, you know, secretary is a good asset for transportation. Whenever we're busy or I have to substitute, you know, the secretary is right there just to answer the phone and when parents are calling for any situation or whatever emergency they have. All our bus drivers are well trained. They're trained on pre-trip, post-trip, defensive driving, intersection safety, on the road emergency, and student management. So they're well trained. And we're gonna be doing our best to provide those students a safe ride back home.
Any
Questions?
questions or comments? Thank you, Ms. Villarreal.
I just want to make sure that we're providing transportation for 6 schools right now, but we're going to start providing on January 24th. We're going to start providing transportation to SBS.
Thank you.
30 seconds on the board, good.
5.3, Jorge Cano, Director of Food Service.
Good evening, everyone, board members, Dr. Noah, champion, audience. Well, basically, I just want to share that I have an annual review this year, fiscal year 22-23, and it's very intense. In January, it went pretty good, and the next one is in 4 more years because that's done only every 4 years. Can you put the one that the findings, please? But the one that says NSLP, that's the closeout letter. Yeah, that one. Cannot see it real good, but yeah, it's that one. Yeah. As you can see real quick at the, oh man, I want to read it from here to take them. I don't want to use my glasses, but I have to. Okay, real quick, on the benefit issuance area, that's a report that I run through ADE which means by doing that report, it's called direct certification. That's where we found out all the students that qualify for free meals automatically. Basically, those are students whose parents receive food stamps or are migrant students or are in a foster home. Those students qualify for free meals automatically. So that's the benefit issuance. So no findings on that. Or now I can see it. And the meal counting and quantities, we do our monthly claims and everything went well there. What we count and what we claim, it matches. So I'm not stealing. Okay, milling components and quantities. We provide, just being, when you're nervous, you just say something silly things. And the meal components, we offer what we need to offer, the protein, the grains, the fruits and veggies and milk. We are in compliance there on dietary specifications. When the teachers do the 504 plans, the student cannot have peanuts or they are lactose free or something. We are in compliance with that too. We have to have a letter from the doctor, but if the parent comes to us and we give them time to bring that letter, but we start providing what they need right away. Again, meal access, all the students have access to free meals. And the next one, no findings. And also on the meal counting again, it's basically the same thing that I said before, but they put it like twice. And the meal pattern that we use is called offer versus serve. That means that we offer the students 2 choices for lunch and 3 choices for breakfast, and they choose what they want. That's what that means. That's what the meal pattern that we have. And on meal components again, and no findings. One of the findings that we had, it was an indirect cost, but they didn't collect money for us. It was just a corrective action. Basically, what it is I just told them what we need, but we'll be more careful next time to do the better calculation, and they accept that. That's why at the end you're gonna see the closeout letter that the case was closed, basically. So, oh my God. Give you like 30 seconds real quick. And then the monitoring thing, I do it myself. No findings on the local wellness policy. No findings since you came to that she's part of the wellness committee. Well, can you just keep going, please? And competitive food service, we don't sell anything during school hours, so no findings. Professional standards, I provide training to my staff on a yearly basis. No findings, and we provide water too, no findings. The next finding is a thermometer. The meal cooler has a 0 thermometer, but they want me to have an extra one inside. So that was the finding. So from that day, I have an extra thermometer in case the 0 one is not working properly. And then what else? Record keeping, I keep my records, everything for 5 years. We're in compliance. And basically, the summer option. We had the summer, can you just click real quick on the summer? And then the 3 findings I sent a letter, they request the corrective action, what I was gonna do for next time to make sure that those things don't happen again. So I sent them my answer, and they sent us the letter, closeout letter, that everything was fine. They accept our corrective actions, and they close the review. So in the summer, 100% no findings at all. Do you find? This one? No, just close this. Yeah. And it's that one, yeah, that one that you just real quick. Yeah, and then the same year I have an admin review for the summer program, and on that one, 100%, no findings at all. Okay, 100%. So I didn't have to send corrective action. Okay.
You're the one who said 3 minutes.
Well, that was too much. I was.
Oh, my God.
So, do you have any questions for me?
Questions or comments? No? Thank you, Mr. Gama.
Oh, thank you.
So, moving on to 5.4,
I think
Mr. Duarte, Director of IT.
Good evening, board members, Dr. No, Say, and everyone in attendance. I did not know there was a timer. I did not know, so I'm not gonna commit to a time. But I will make it short, I promise. Okay? So first of all, for all of you in attendance and don't know me, my name is Antonio Duarte, and I am the Director of IT. I want to start off my presentation by introducing my team. I have Luis Tenorio, who is my network administrator, Jason, who is my computer tech at the district, Desert Sonora, ESS, migrant. He's basically all over the place. So if you see a guy on an electric scooter going from building to building, that's him.
Yeah.
And then I have Abigail Franco, who is our state reporting specialist. She ensures that we have all of our student data in order. She does internal audits within the district and is basically a line of support for the secretaries whenever they have questions regarding student data and record keeping. Okay. Next, I have Cesar Leon, who is my computer tech at SMS. Daniel Melendez, ELC and BTS, computer tech. Rafa, tech at TDS. Orlando Salgado, which is our newest member, is our tech at SVS. Hermes Soto's another new member of ours at Orange Grove. And then we have Peony Vera, our IT secretary. So one of the topics I want to talk about today is Apple Care. Currently, we have Apple Care for all of our student iPads. And Apple Care, what all it is, it's you get a free replacement for that iPad for 3 years, and the accident damage can only happen. You can only return an iPad 3 times. So 3 repairs over 3 years for each device. And currently, the elementaries, they only have 2 years left. SMS has no more years left because they got the iPad refresh before every other school. And I also want to talk about what Caesar did. Caesar, the computer tech at SMS, he did something without me telling him. He did it all on his own initiative. But what he did is that before the warranty ran out, he got 120 iPads that he identified that were still under the warranty, and he was able to send them to Apple for a free replacement, even though they didn't need a repair, but because they had like a scratch or a bent housing or something, just regular wear and tear, Apple was able to honor the warranty, and we got a refresh of 120 iPads for the middle school. So
Nice.
I gave them props on that one for sure. And that's something that we put on our lessons learned. And so when the time comes for the elementary warranty to expire, we're gonna do that same process and identify those iPads that's still under warranty and that we can return and get a fresh one before the warranty runs out. Okay. And so, like I said, elementary 2 years left. SMS, no more Apple Care warranty, and all repairs will be done in-house. Okay. Internal audit. It's just a summary of Abigail's internal audits that she does with the secretaries. Basically, I can't see from here even with my glasses, but she did an internal audit across all schools. She, out of the 460 some students, she found about 160 findings. And they weren't major findings. They're just little things that the secretaries forgot to collect or were pending. And so the benefits of her doing these internal audits is that she's able to identify the secretaries, the secretaries that need more assistance. And so what she's doing, she's following up with those secretaries. She's going to conduct another internal audit later on this year, and then ensure that the findings that we did find get corrected. And so great props to Abigail for doing those internal audits, and she honestly does a great job. It's almost like if she's an ADE auditor. Yeah. She goes there and she's on site the whole day and going through those files with the secretaries. So, see, next slide. And then I want to talk about some security updates that we've done. We've added security cameras across the district. We went with this vendor called Ricotta camera system, and they have features such as facial recognition, license plate tracking, and all these cameras are cloud-based. So all the storage is in the cloud. So there's no hard drives here. we can, set rules, create notifications for X, Y, Z. And so it's a really advanced security cameras. I'm not going to disclose where we place them or how many we have, especially to the public, but I just want to let you know that we did upgrade our security camera system. The next thing is we're implementing multi-factor authentication across the district. Basically, and this affects everyone, including you, board members, your email, you will now have to, we send out an email district-wide, but in January, we're going to be enforcing the two-factor authentication for email. So every time you log in, it's going to either send you a text or you're going to have to verify it through the Google Authenticator to get into your email. And this is, something that it's an initiative from ADE. The ADE auditors came to us and they kind of did an assessment. And this is one of the topics that we talked about, and we have to enforce it this year. So that's on the agenda. And then classrooms, we continue to support classrooms with Apple TVs, 4K, 65-inch TVs, charging stations, laptops, iPads for every student. So that's ongoing. And then we just recently upgraded Desert Sonora's TV mounts to a full motion swivel wall mount. They were the only schools that didn't have it. They have the just wall mounted, and it was just static, right? It's just there. But we got them. We're waiting for the order to complete, and then Martin and his team will come and help us mount those wall mounts at Sonora. The next thing is almost done. I promise 2 more slides.
You've been 8 minutes already.
Oh man. As you know, we refreshed all the iPads at the elementary and at the middle school, and so now we have a surplus of iPads. And these iPads they're very old. They're not supported by Apple no more. You can't update them, so there's not much you can do with them. But we found a way to repurpose some of them. What we did is, as you can see on the screen here, we created clock-in and out stations for staff. So basically, staff members can, and we're placing them, across the district right now. We have some at Del Sonora and at ELC and transportation, and staff can go in there and just clock in and out, so that way they're not waiting for, because they're not waiting for someone else to be clocking in, or they can't clock in with their phones. They have to go to a station. So that's what the purpose for those iPads were for. Okay. Another issue that we came across is that some teachers were running out of storage on their laptops. And so what we did is we queried all the teacher laptops. We found the teachers who needed, who had the least amount of space. And we ordered these USB-C thumb drives that are very compact. They're really small. And they were able to just plug it into their laptops. And now they had 256 gigabytes extra of local storage. They also have unlimited storage in the cloud in Google Drive, so that was available to them, but some of them just wanted that local storage. And then also for future purchases, we will purchase laptops with higher storage capacity to avoid this issue. The last thing is we did a storage cleanup. The picture in the middle is how the storage was, and the picture on the left is it's how it is now. It's not. The goal here was not to clean up, really. The goal here was to tag everything and put it in for disposal. All these items are to be sent for dispose, and hopefully sometime in February we'll end up having like a yard sale here at the district where the public can come in and buy these items. Okay, and that's all I got.
Questions or comments? I have a question, Antonio.
Yes.
On the cameras, do they record audio, or is it just the visual?
They do record audio, yes.
They do?
Yes. You have to be pretty close. It depends on the distance. Yeah. It's going to be pretty hard to get the audio from, 20, 30 feet away.
I'm just thinking for liability purposes, because I mean, if it's recording, do we need to have anything posted that says? I remember going to a session at the law conference on that, so you might want
I
to
can
double
look
check
into
on
it.
that.
Yeah, I'll talk to our ADE rep and see what what they say about that. I know for social media, like if we're gonna post on the social media, we gotta make sure
Right.
that those students are not opted out, so. But no, but as far as audio, on the cameras, I'm not too sure.
I just vaguely remember one of the sessions that I attended.
Yeah.
But I would have to go back and look at my notes. So
We do, this camera system is very advanced, so we do have the option to completely, remove it.
It used
if
to
we need
be that it wasn't the recording of it that was against the law. It was who listened or how you used it that was
Right,
limited. So I don't know if there's a requirement for notice
right.
and it might be requirement for permission if, depending on who's gonna listen to it. So I'd be curious to find out.
Yeah, just double check to make sure that we're not putting ourselves in a position of liability on it.
Right, we'll do, I'll go ahead and check.
There's one more question.
Your docking stations for clocking in and out,
Yes,
is it solely for that? Are they able to do other things, or is it just for the TCP?
it's just for TCP, just for clocking in and out. The iPads are in what you call a kiosk mode, so they can't exit the app out. They're stuck in there.
And the way your employees clock in and out, is it like username, passcode, no fingerprint, no?
No fingerprint. It's just their employee ID and then a PIN number that they set with HR.
They set it.
Yeah.
And you've never come across somebody clocking in for another person?
That would be an HR question. That's correct.
We kind of explored it, and when we implemented the system, we let them know that that should not be happening. And if it is happening, admin should be reporting.
And that's been true all the time, you know, because before they would clock in at some computer, so it's always been something.
Right.
And Harold does know the arts, we can see the tracker in the time stamp.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Lam. Moving on to consent agenda. Does anybody have a question or does anybody want to remove something from consent agenda? Ms. Torres? Is Ms. Torres still on?
Yes, I'm here. No, I'm good.
You're good?
Did you want to recuse yourself from 6.15?
Okay, I thought I did it at that moment, but yeah, I have to do it now, and I will recuse myself from 6.5. Thank you.
Now, need a motion? Motion was made by Ms. Delgadillo,
Second?
seconded by Ms. Clark. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to a 7.1, discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve the revised salary schedule and market adjustments effective January 1st, 2024.
Hi, good evening. Last month, we brought to you the minimum wage increases so our classified employees received their notices of agreements. And with those notices, they received a 4% increase that you all approved at the November board meeting. So now that we've actually done a salary comparison of our local market, so we usually compare to Crane, District 1, and Gadsden, there's additional market adjustments that have to be made. And we also want to make sure that we have a salary schedule that's in place that recognizes the minimum wage increase that's going to go into effect January. So you'll notice in your packet of information that we have our new salary schedule for our non-exempt employees. And so anything on the red it's listed there, we would like for you to please approve. This will bring in line any new hires that we bring into the district after January to make sure we are hiring at a competitive market salary for our hourly employees. And so with this, we also have a few positions, and I indicated there in your board packet under the executive content, that there's a couple of market adjustments that need to be made, and finance has approved those market adjustments for those few positions. And so the request before you tonight is for you to please approve the new salary schedule for our non-exempt employees to make sure that we meet the mandate to pay the minimum wage of $14.35, and also make sure that as we hire employees moving forward, we are within the market.
Any questions or comments? Need a motion?
So moved.
Motion was made by Ms. Clark, second by Ms. Delgadillo. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to 7.2, discussion and possible action of approval of school plaques rendering.
Mary, you want to point out what the differences are between them, that they're, so they can,
We made black background, and then with the font, there was a Medica. So, and then we added initials. So,
And I think we also added the assistant superintendent, right? 'Cause I believe that's something that we somehow overlooked it last time, so glad we caught it.
I believe it's up to the board and what they want on the different tracks. They did give different tracks from the different schools.
Mhm.
So it's up to the
All right.
all different.
So, which one,
Or one is a different font than the other, but both black.
mhm.
We're just either, we're just deciding on the font.
Black or it was a decision between the brown and black.
Yeah, I mean, when we look at the, let's see.
It was voted black.
Yeah,
It stood out.
I think the one that we got was the black with the Times New Roman, right? Yeah, so which is, it's not that one, it's the other one. No, it is that one. Yeah, it's that one.
Oh, it's the
Yeah,
Times Roman.
yeah, it's that one. So, you good with that one? Ms. Torres, thoughts?
I like it.
There you go.
Names are correct.
Double check your names and everything. I'm good, you're good?
I'm good.
Okay, need a motion?
Make a motion to approve the black bold background with the Times Roman bold font.
Motion was made by Ms. Delgadillo,
Second?
second by Ms. Clark. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to 7.3, discussion of AEA representatives visiting district campuses.
We had, I don't know if we would call it a request. We were told that AEA would be coming to our campuses on a certain date and time. And I've sent you the email exchanges, and so that everything is documented there from the initial ask and our response. We never said they could not come if they I needed more information and we needed time to set it up. They interpreted that as saying they could not come. We would like for them to come April 24th, when we have our employee event. I did confirm with the Superintendent's Council, because when the issue first came up, we asked our Superintendent's Council, which are representative of each campus, teachers from each campus, and they concurred with the concern of not having the interruption and not having that happen during their school day, and the impossibility of getting around to everybody on the campus without interrupting instruction and school activities. And so they agreed with that, and then when we were challenged, and I gave you the conversation back and forth, Ms. Say and I met again with the Superintendent Council this month and confirmed with them that we had the correct understanding. And we do have a member of our council here tonight, the Superintendent's Council, just to be sure I'm saying this right, but the teachers that represent each of the schools said they just agree that they do not want the instruction and their work environment interrupted. Even if it's during lunchtime, they want to have lunch. So they said that's why we have the April 24th, and that's what we said.
Anything you want to add? No?
Those were our options. We much prefer the option of they come during the benefits fair. That way, with what they do offer,
it's more of like a drawn out that it can't be done in 5, 10, 15 minutes, and the teachers still get their lunch. We only get 40, and that, if everybody's on time, so usually by the end of the day, it's like 30 minutes, so. We agreed to April, but whether or not they like it.
Right. Okay. Oh, and you know what, and I think under executive content, I mean, we never said no, like Dr. Noel mentioned, the option has always been there. So, Dr. Noel, just, if they reach out,
Legally, I have the authority to say, not at this time, or not the right people, or that kind of thing, for the event, to not interrupt instruction. So I'm just gonna continue with that, and then if you wanna redirect me, then you can redirect me. You'll notice that the final thing was the attorney making their blast, their AEA attorney, and then our attorney saying, I'll make a phone call, and then we've heard nothing since then. So.
and I think it's also.
I think he made his phone call.
And Dr. Noel, about how much have we spent contacting our attorney regarding this?
I don't think we've gotten the billing yet.
But it's been a couple of hours, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't, it'd be the communication, the first was a communication, so it'll probably be, what, $300 for that? And then the second was a phone call, so I don't know what he'll charge.
I don't know how long it was.
Right.
Another 15 minutes, so.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, this is an action item, but I mean, I think with board members, all the executive content is there. Moving forward, that way for it not to be brought to us again, just you have your direction and just proceed with that. And let's make sure we listen to our teachers that are in that committee, and we want to respect their wishes. So.
There's really a three-part problem. One is our teachers don't want to be interrupted. Another is that how do we know that these people have proper background checks? And how do we know they're well? Or in today's climate, it used to be it was all about security, right? Now it's all about health and wellness. But nonetheless, I would think as a parents would have a problem thinking, well, who is that person and why are they coming? I know they've been vetted. So I think there's part of that too. So those three factors make it a strong case.
Sounds good.
I wanted to make a comment, but if you are going to bring it before the superintendent council, give them enough time to go back to their schools to relay the message and have the whole entire school, not just one person deciding for the entire group.
We met with the superintendent council in November, and that was when I explained to them what had happened and asked what their opinion was. They gave their opinion, and then they went back. They all have different ways they meet with their staff. And then at the December meeting, then I said, well, is it still the same? Because I'm still holding even with what we said before, and we're going to have a board meeting. So they affirmed that, yes, they felt strongly that it's still the same.
As long as that communication is evenly through the entire school.
All right. Well, it's a discussion item, so we don't have to take action on it, but you know the direction. So moving on to 8.1, any recommendation from the board for future agenda items for January?
Do you want chair on the agenda, or how do you want to handle that? Because I gave you the information, so I don't know about transportation, and that's a budget issue, so, it's kind of hard to change anything for this year, but.
You know what, I think for me, if we put it on the agenda, I'm gonna revert back to your guys' recommendation. I mean, if we have funds, then let's do it. But at the same time, we need to make sure that we're equal across the board. If we do it with one, my expectation is that we're gonna do it for everyone else too. So I think that's something that.
The other thing is the group is deciding what they're going to or what they're going to ask for. So then if we're going to pay for those things, then we may also have other groups that then want to go here, go there to do their competitions, and we would need to be equitable between groups. So right now our equitable is we provide transportation in the local area, and we provide equipment, and we provide things to support the sports that are at the team. I don't think we provide uniforms for cheer. I don't think we've, we would have to look into that kind of thing. There's certain sports we provide some more support for than others. Like, we don't charge for football player jerseys, right? Or we do that as do we do that as a district?
Most of the items, they've been purchased with fundraising, and they used to look out for tax credits.
Okay.
That's what all the groups do, so we're treating everyone equitably, but so if we want to expand that, we have to provide a funding source. And right now, the funding source is the parent groups, and they do different fundraising activities they do for their team or their club.
Okay.
So, I recommend we do put it on the
That's it.
agenda so we can discuss this further, next month, and then, that way we're more transparent, and we address, I guess after you've addressed the parents' concern, we can bring that back up to the agenda.
I did address the concern, but they didn't like my answer. So my answer,
The first parent.
yeah, he had never addressed me, but the others.
Okay, so you can address the first one too, and then that way we can come and converse
Okay.
on the record.
I'm just curious to know if there's like a clear communication when a staff member or any person that comes to the district to be a coach or do they know what it entails as far as, fundraising on their own?
They do, but they don't like it.
Right.
That's what the group is saying, is they feel like cheer needs to be more supported, but I don't think they realize that it's being supported as much as the other sports are being supported. It's not being supported more or less. That they would like to have more support, which I understand. It is expensive. That's why traveling out of state into competitions or even within state, it's expensive.
You know what? Let's add it on the agenda. That way we can go into more in depth. Yeah.
You'll be talking
'Cause we're
about
kinda like-
booster clubs and
Yeah.
all sorts of other things.
Yeah. Let's add it on the agenda, and
We
we'll.
can list the different teams
Right.
and clubs that we have, and
Yeah.
is that what we'd like?
Because
to
just
do?
right now we just started diving into it, so let's just do it as an agenda item for next
Okay.
month. 8.2 Christmas Oh, Ms. Torres?
Sorry, Mr. Castillo. I just wanted to add, if we're gonna add it, also include, is there, we have to project for this, right, for the budget, administrators, I know Dr. Knoll is something that you all, look for. So is this something that as coaches, they can, propose where they intend to go for that year, what activities may require additional funding? Because if we do try to, set an equitable, standard, there may be programs like the chess club that isn't planning on traveling that year, and there may be funds that will be allocated that won't be used and that will be unspent. So is there a process that we can have that, they can, again, essentially let us know within good time, and project.
Yeah.
We can talk about it for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Torres. 8.2 Christmas programs. So they're there. There's actually
They're happening.
2 right now at ELC and Orange Grove.
And 3 tomorrow, we have this special meeting.
Yeah. So
It's a tight week.
8.3 Superintendent Search Special Board Meeting tomorrow, December 13 at 5:30. So and everyone is planning on being here. Ms. Torres? Ms. Torres?
Yes, I will be in.
Okay. Ms. Clark?
Yes.
Ms. Delgadillo? Sounds good. Need a motion to, anything else before we adjourn? No? Motion was made by Ms. Delgadillo,
Second.
second by Ms. Clark. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? We're adjourned.